I guess I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you to talk maybe a little bit about some of your favorite work, things that you uh, really enjoy or have worked on that you appreciate.
I mean,
Yeah,
as a filmmaker, some of my deepest, richest experiences and on the biggest projects include working with Martin Scorsese as an editor and Thelma Schoonmaker, working on a short film that was nominated for an Oscar that some people consider the best film they ever saw. I did once upon a time work on the battle scene in Waterworld, which was a big undertaking, and I'm still very proud of that. Um, those are some of my editing experiences.
we were talking about how you used somatic experiencing in your work when I was your student. How did you get interested in it when you originally started?
Well, to be perfectly honest, I was a client myself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so was I. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, which I think gets a lot of people into these fields. I was a client myself, and I'd read some Peter Levine, and I worked with several people, some psychologists, some body workers, some movement people, because in part of somatic experiencing, the PSYBAM, I particularly like the B part, the movement part. I find that very empowering as a resource. I realized, especially in editing, the ability of somatic experiencing to separate experience and slow it down and articulate it was a beautiful thing to offer to my editing class. The thrust of what I try to teach editors, and the thrust of good editing, is really to create a somatic experience for the audience. Towards, if an editor cannot experience somatically or has blocks there, how are they going to put that in the work?
I was just thinking this. A lot of people may not understand what PSYBAM is, or think that, oh yeah, that sounds simple. All you have to do is just follow your instincts. But it's not really that simple, is it?
No, it's not. Peter Levine, when he invented somatic experiencing, he basically came up with PSYBAM, which I like because it has the PSYBAM, bam, you know? So it's got a little magic to it. But the PSYBAM stands for sense, image, behavior, affect, meaning. And he's saying that's what experience is made up of, which is a big statement, but I have found those 5 categories to be sufficient to describe experience or full experience. And if you want your movie to be a full experience, I think we can agree it should have sensation, which may be all that a lot of movies have these days. They definitely have image. Behavior would be action, any movement. Affect, you could argue movies today don't have as much affect a lot of the time, meaning emotion. And then it all should add up to a meaning, a personal meaning, preferably, that, you know, hopefully is cathartic or healing in some way, or just useful. So if a movie is supposed to have those things, which I think it should to be a really good movie, the creators need that too. So I would just go over PSYBAM. It's really pretty easy to remember: sense, image, behavior, affect, meaning.
And you've been teaching this. I remember this, learning this in the early 2000s. You went over it.
Did I bring it up in class?
Yeah, you did. You absolutely did. And the fact that it took me, because a lot of people may think, oh yeah, that sounds simple.
Right.
This is almost 20 years later, or 16 years later, and
Right.
I'm just now getting to the surface of how complicated and how intricate that can be, you know, in terms of putting it into practice.
Right. Well, one of the conditions of probably of our modern life,
Yeah,
is it tends to be rather virtual and rather mental. And so when you mentally think you kind of comprehend something like PSYBAM,
right.
you think you've got it. But it's the doing of it that really counts. Something you do with clients, and something anybody could do, is orient yourself by looking around the room, find something even pleasurable, which is something we do with clients, and we don't do it, and can help PTSD people come back more to the world, help all sorts of people with stress disorders come back to the world or have better performance, resolve all sorts of issues, and certainly create art that is richer, fuller, deeper, better, you know?